Let's paint Arches National Park. For those who watched the process videos from Huely 2021, the beginning of this video might seem a bit familiar, and that's not so strange. You see, I wanted to create some destination posters, and I figured that Arches National Park would be a great subject. And as I already painted Delicate Arch for Huely 2021, I figured I could continue to build on that rather than paint an entirely new image. That said, there were still a lot of things I needed to fix, as the initial image was painted on a landscape-orientated canvas, though a poster is usually portrait-oriented. So, when I started working on the poster, I simply copied the Delicate Arch file I had in Procreate, and that also contained all of the time-lapse from the initial image, which is why you're getting that initial process here as well. Arches National Park is located in Utah and houses over 2,000 natural stone arches. The most popular and photographed arch is Delicate Arch, which also happens to be the subject for this image. When creating the initial image, I added different colours to different layers, and this really helped speed things up when I altered the colour palettes for the poster. I could simply set my layers to alpha lock and flood them with the desired colours, although it's also possible to use gradient maps to play around with colour palettes for an image, or even colorise grayscale images. The new colour palette I chose pretty much transformed the painting into a nighttime image, though what might not be apparent is that the colour palette was partially inspired by the Pantone Colour of the Year. The 2022 colour was named Very Perry and is a light bluish purple colour, and that happens to be the lightest purple colour in this image. I also added a light yellow for the highlights and for the moon and later for the stars, which adds a really nice contrast to the purples. As you can tell, I didn't just change the colours of the image. As the image is a slightly different format, more scenery needed to be added to the foreground, and revisiting the image also let me address some issues I had with the background. While I am showing off the process behind the image part of the poster, I sadly don't have any footage showing how I added the typography or selected the fonts. This is because I use Photoshop for typography, as it's a lot more precise and reliable for type and placement, but sadly it doesn't create time lapses for the work you do. I didn't stop at just the nighttime image. I decided to go back and play around with colours some more, and instead of copying the nighttime version of the poster, I created a new file and copied over each of the layers. And I set the layers to alpha lock and I flooded them with different colours. In the end, I ended up going back to the original colour palette that I used for the initial painting created during Huely 2021. I wasn't a big fan of the clouds in my original painting because the style just didn't fit the landscape. And I struggled with the clouds in this version as well, but I took my time and I did some research. And with some trial and error, I finally landed on clouds that worked well to enhance the landscape. Thank you so much for watching. More process videos are up on my YouTube channel, and check out my social media accounts and my website for more of my work.